The story: the mountain girl becomes a top Vietnamese trader, an inspiring journey of overcoming difficulties. On the towering Trong Son Range, where the early morning clouds linger around the mountain peaks and the wind rustles through the bamboo stalks, Hamai's 23rd year passes amidst the majestic grandeur of the Central Highlands. Having lived for more than 20 years in a village still lacking many necessities, she rarely thinks about the outside world, let alone concepts like investment or finance that city people often debate. For Hamai and her family, happiness is simply a harvest with enough rice, a few piglets growing fast to cover the younger siblings' school fees, or the chance to touch a smartphone she has only seen from afar. For a long time, the girl's life in the mountains revolved only around tending cornfields and rice fields. Having learned to be independent from a young age, she helped her parents while taking care of her younger siblings. But deep in her heart, Hamai held a quiet, bright dream. I don't want to always be a shadow following others. There must be a way for me to go out there and live a different life, not stuck in this hardship. She didn't know which path to choose until an opportunity came knocking. The volunteer class, organized by a group of students from a distant city, held at the village school, an event that ignited a new light in her soul when Hamai first placed her hands on the old laptop, listening to lectures, learning to open the door to unfamiliar knowledge. The internet suddenly became a magic, opening up a world she had never imagined. Videos on YouTube, knowledge, advice, information flying far beyond borders. One day, she accidentally saw an image of a young woman sharing how to make money through Forex. At first, it seemed like a ridiculous story. Her village only heard about investment in movies. The charts, indicators kept dancing, and the data made her feel alien. But hope in Hamai was suddenly kindled. If others could do it, why couldn't she try? She herself did not want to miss any opportunity, even if it was just a chance to learn remotely. But that journey was never an easy path. In the small house, with a thatched roof, without internet or a personal computer, every time she studied, she had to wait for her cousin to come home to borrow an old phone, then every night walk nearly 10 kilometers to school just to get Wi-Fi signal. The online lessons were all in Mandarin, with many English phonetic transcriptions, and the explanations were sometimes so difficult to understand that she had to replay the videos repeatedly. There was no mentor to guide her, nor anyone to share practical experience. Even books in her mother tongue to translate were unavailable. Hamai could only try to take notes, think quietly, and look up additional information. There were nights when it rained heavily, the mountain roads were landslides, and she couldn't go to school to connect to Wi-Fi. So many times she felt discouraged, wanting to give up. But after each anxious thought of quitting, her mother's eyes, the woman who worked hard all year carrying heavy cassava baskets on her back, appeared in her mind. She reminded herself, if she didn't try, she would forever be just a shadow behind her mother, wandering in this forest corner. She forced herself to get up again, continuing to study, relearning each term, carefully noting down every formula and secret in her notebook, the first treasure of knowledge she built with her own sweat and determination. After a year of studying theory and accumulating experience through short videos, Hamai decided to create a demo account on an old phone app. That was the first time she traded without real money, just to practice and gain experience. In the first 6 months, this account kept burning, meaning continuous losses, wrong trades due to lack of experience and knowledge. But the more it burned, the deeper she understood each of her mistakes. More importantly, she realized that her failures were due to being too hasty, lacking capital management, and not maintaining discipline. The mistake was not in the old phone or the balance, but in mindset and actions. More than ever, Hamai is patient. She changes her approach, only choosing trades at certain entry points, keeping a journal, spending 2 hours every night reading chart analysis Q&A from the investment community on social media. From fumbling through each step, she teaches herself how to set goals, develop strategies, and manage risks. Day by day, the numbers and lines on the phone screen became less and less unfamiliar. A small joy came when she saved up 3 million dong after a year of helping the cooperative, using it to open her very first investment account. In the successful transaction, the account increased by a few small dollars, but it was her first proud achievement. In the following months, despite sometimes winning and sometimes losing, she never stopped learning and experimenting. After 9 months of serious trading, Hamai's account grew from 3 million to 15 million. A financial forum discovered this extraordinary journey and invited her to share her experience. The inspiring example of this mountain girl overcoming her circumstances without a mentor or scholarship, but with iron will, surprised and impressed the community. Gradually, Hamai became one of the prominent female traders, with tens of thousands of followers on social media. She also started free basic investment classes for teenagers in the highland areas. Anyone can start like her. No need for a strong internet connection, no need for English or large capital, just the courage to learn and the persistence not to give up. Above all, Hamai's story is a vivid testament to a simple truth. Your starting point does not determine your destination. Not everyone is born with advantages or a springboard. What matters is having the right mindset and the determination not to back down, no matter where you start from. She herself once said, "I don't have to win the market every day. It's enough to win over myself, to win every time I want to give up." Hamai is still attached to the Great Central Highlands. Now every morning when the sun rises, instead of carrying cassava trays to the field, she turns on her computer, researches the market, exchanges ideas with young people, and shares the aspiration to break out of the cycle of poverty through knowledge, something she probably never dared to dream of before. For her, the journey is still long, but as long as she dares to learn and knows how to persist moving forward, fate will never be able to bind her steps forever. The story of Hamai is not a strange phenomenon. It is the beginning of the belief that anywhere on this land, as long as you are willing to start and do not give up, there will definitely come a day when your life turns a new page. Thank you for following today's story. If you find it valuable, please like and subscribe to the channel to catch the next inspiring stories. Share this video. You might help many people out there who are about to give up.